From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Ashley Regional Medical Center. I'm your host, Chris Piner. Joining me in the studio, we have John Beaslin and Brett Reynolds to talk about the Shriners Children's Screening. Now, this is something I've heard about the Shriners. I know both of you, but I didn't know about the screening. So maybe let's start off just quickly by just a quick explanation of what is this screening and what is it for?
A screening clinic is determined whether or not we're going to accept kids under the age of 18 years old who may qualify and with medical needs to take to the hospital in Salt Lake. And what we'll do is on Saturday morning on the 21st of April at 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock, we will have in the Masonic Temple over at 166 South, 100 West, Vernal, Utah, a van will bring out nurses from the hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah, together with some staff members. They will then talk to the kids that people bring in to determine whether or not they have a medical problem that we can handle.
All right.
And so that's our purpose,
That was
is to get them.
I wanted to open up with that and find out what this screening was. Maybe we should back up just a little bit and hit some of these other things. So both of you are here today representing the Shriners?
Yep.
Is that right? Both of you? Are you both Shriners?
Well, kind of. I actually am a Mason now, which most people probably don't know, but that was very much subsequent to what brought my interest into the hospitals, which was obviously my child being treated there. So yeah, I get to hang out with John quite a bit now.
Oh, very
it's been
good.
a pleasure.
So what is the connection between the Masons and the Shriners?
Well, first of all, you have to be a Mason in order to be a Shriner. And we have 3 degrees in Masonry. It's called the Entered Apprentice, Fellowcraft, and Master Mason. And after you become a Master Mason, then you can join the Shrine. It used to be different than that years ago, but you can do it now after you've got your Master Mason, and then you can join the Shrine.
All right.
I've been a Shriner now for 50 years.
For 50 years?
Yep.
Wow.
The Shrine's kind of the group that has fun with the Masons. They're kind of the less serious. Yeah. They're the ones you used to see in the parades with the goofy hats.
Yeah, they used to say that we wear our red hats, they're funny hats, but that's what it looks like. And I've been an ambassador to the hospital for probably the last 25 years.
Wow.
In addition to being the secretary of the Uinta Basin Shrine Club, which is a club in the state of Utah.
Now, for this reason, when I said you're representing the Shriners, you corrected me and said not yet, right? So,
well, you know, actually, they have their own time that you got to get inducted into the Shrine, and it's only twice a year in Salt Lake, and it hasn't fallen on a time when I can get out there. But they're so closely tied, we all work together, and so I'm always down there.
Well, for those of us that are not part of that, it's fascinating. It's very interesting. And now I'll bet most people have heard of the Shriners Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And let's just jump to that quickly. John, what is the Shriners Hospital?
Let me
maybe
tell you
a little
about
history.
First of all, we started the Shriners Hospital in 1925. 87 years we've been doing this for the kids. And over the last 50 years that I've lived in Vernal and gone out to the hospital on numerous occasions, and we take out stuffed animals. The gals out there make blankets for the kids, and it's just a great place. And in 1995, we opened up a brand new hospital. Probably cost $45–50 million. The Shrine, as such, the Shriners nationally spend about $567 million in a given year to take care of 19 orthopedic hospitals and 3 burn centers.
Wow. And
down in Sacramento, they remodeled Sacramento 2 years ago, and I think they now have a little burn center also. But that's what we do and have done since 1922. And we're continuing to do it. And we have thousands.
You've been with this one for 50 of the 87 years that it's been around. And that's are these hospitals around the world?
Oh yeah, they're all over. We have them. Yeah, they're scattered all over. In fact,
does every state have?
Right there. They in California, Texas, Maine, Vermont, various other places. That's a picture of all of the Shrine hospitals.
Oh, look at that.
Throughout that's the 22 of them.
So the
and
22
3 of those are burn centers.
3, and then the others you said are orthopedic, and we have one right here in Salt Lake City.
What's the orthopedic?
Now that's fascinating, and I think the other thing that I want to get to before we're going to take a break and talk a little bit more about the screening and about your personal experience with the hospital, but what is the cost for treatment?
Nothing. But what we do is medical, regardless of their ability to pay. We don't use that anymore. All we say is, if you have an ability to pay, that's the way it works out. Otherwise, that's not. They don't pay.
So if
there's no billing department at the hospital, as I found out.
And there's no reason then to avoid care for a child.
No, we don't. As a matter of fact, that's what we do. All care provided regardless of ability to pay, and that's what we do. We don't worry about the ability to pay. We take care of the kids if we find they've got a problem that we can handle.
Wow.
But we first have to establish the fact that they have a problem that we can take care of.
That you can treat, and that's what we're going to talk about, the screening. Well, that must be something that the Shriners are very proud of.
Oh, wonderful.
I think I'm proud of it, and I'm not a Shriner, but what a wonderful bit of charity.
It's a great philanthropy, probably one of the best there is.
Well,
and like I say, it costs us $1 million. Probably now, it costs us probably, I'd say close to $1 billion a year to operate all the hospitals. Now, in 2001, it was $567 million. $1.5 million every 24 hours.
That. Wow,
we're
that's
spending.
Incredible.
We have an office, I might mention, we have what we call Imperial. And Imperial Shrine is down in Tampa, Florida. And that is they're the head of all the shrine clubs throughout the United States. And then we have a shrine office in Salt Lake that is in Utah. And then all the other states, Idaho, Wyoming, and so forth, have their own separate clubs also. And we, all of them bring their people in, the kids, into Salt Lake. Yeah, it's a great experience to go in there and have fun with those kids. They have a lot of fun.
No wonder you keep doing this.
Well, as long as you can do it. I've been doing it for a long time.
For a long time, and you'll probably do it for a long time too, Brett.
Yeah, he's younger. He can keep going.
You can keep going. You can keep going too, John.
We'll keep him going.
All right, we'll be right back to hear more from John and Brett after this message from our sponsor, Ashley Regional Medical Center.
Hello, I'm Cy Hutt. I'm the CEO at Ashley Regional Medical Center. You know, these days you hear the word quality a lot in advertising, but there's a big difference between talking about quality and practicing it. At Ashley Regional Medical Center, quality means two things.
First, customer service. We hold ourselves accountable for giving each individual patient a positive healthcare experience. The results? In an inpatient satisfaction survey from the end of 2011, Ashley Regional scored better than 70% of U.S. hospitals. Second, quality is following nationally recognized clinical standards. The leading organization in America for setting and monitoring quality standards is the Joint Commission.
In fact, Medicare uses the Joint Commission to ensure that its policies and rules are in effect, to protect patient safety as well as improve treatment results.
Ashley Regional Medical Center has been Joint Commission accredited since 1996 and is the only hospital in Northeast Utah accredited by the Joint Commission.
So what does this mean to you? When you need hospital care, you can be confident that Ashley Regional is committed to and delivers quality care to you and your loved one.
Welcome back to Local Point. Joining me is John Beaslin and Brett Reynolds, and if you were watching our first segment, we had a lot of history and educational material on the Shriners and the Shriners Hospital, and we talked a little bit about the screening that is taking place on April 21st. I'm going to go to Brett for this. I know that you've mentioned here, first of all, what is the connection between the two of you? You're just both part of the
we just become good friends, I guess. And maybe I can explain what happened with the Shriners. That'll explain how I know John so well now.
All right, let's do that.
About 8 years ago, my wife and I adopted twin babies from Haiti. And the little boy was born with a medical condition called schismcephaly. We didn't know it when we got him. Obviously, they don't treat those things in Haiti. But he always held his hand really tight, and he limped really bad. And it was a fluid spot on his brain that was similar to someone who's had a stroke. We'd been going to doctors and trying to do the best they can. Well, one day we went to a screening. Actually, they brought a Shrine representative with the state medical staff for a screening we went to here in town. And the doctor started asking me questions. And my boy's problem was bad, but it wasn't something I guess you couldn't live without. I had terrible insurance. I was newly self-employed. I figured there was not much I could do right now because I was making good enough money that I wasn't going to be a Medicaid candidate, but not with $5,000 deductibles and 20% insurance. I couldn't pay for it. And the doctor says, well, that's okay. I don't want you to go to the regular hospital anyway. I want to treat him at the Shriners Hospital. And I knew nothing about the Shriners Hospital. But the next visit we had with that doctor was at the Shrine Hospital. We showed up. There was one piece of paper to fill out for the Shrine's tax papers. Do you make more or less than $40,000? There wasn't a wrong answer. There was no other paper we filled out in the whole hospital. There was no billing department. In fact, I wanted to pay what I could to help it, and they didn't. They had a doctor from Primary Children's there that was a phenomenal doctor. They were nervous about him under anesthesia. They had a doctor that came in from Mayo Clinic to be the anesthesiologist. And they did the surgery. They moved the tendons around on his feet so his leg was straightened out. And it was life-changing for him. When we got done, they said, all right, with this brace that they gave us, he's going to need one shoe bigger than the other for it to fit in. And we said, great. And then they brought in pairs of shoes. They even sent him home with new shoes. It really got me curious. Who are these guys? I mean, I've been members of lots of organizations, and I'm not down in them. But when they do a big project, send books to Mexico, gather eyeglasses to give to some poor country. But somewhere out there, there was a bunch of crazy old men who sat down one day and said, I got an idea, let's start a hospital. And then let's not charge for anybody to come to the hospital. It was unfathomable to me. They're spending $1.5, $1.8 million a day to take care of hospitals. That's so far beyond the pale of any organization I'd ever seen in the charity that they provide. The hospital was phenomenal. We went out to the hospital, and they had teachers that came in for the kids that were there long term. The doctors, the kids are keen there. Most hospitals, everybody's wanting you to be quiet or whatever. There was kids with IV racks and things running through the halls. When they wanted food, they went to the cafeteria and dug through it till they found the food they wanted. Oh. The doctors didn't care. The nurses didn't care. It's so completely different than any hospital you've ever been in.
And this is what ended up getting you involved.
Yeah, well, I wanted to give something back to the Shriners. So I thought, all right, I'm going to buy 500 tickets to their dinner. Me and my wife, we felt so guilty for what they'd done for us. And through that and helping them get the Shrine barbecue going, I met guys like John. And if you've ever been any time around John, you just won't find a nicer guy in the world. And before I knew it, I was one of them.
I'd have to agree with that. Well, thank you for sharing your story and for coming here today. What we really want to tell our audiences is that they can come to the screening. Now, you're not going to believe we're just about out of time, and just about 20 seconds left. Okay. Let's cover the screening one more time and where they need to go.
Okay, they need to go to the Ashley Lodge on the 21st of April between 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and they'll come down there and meet with the nurses from the hospital. And when they do that, then we'll determine whether or not physically they need care that we can give. And if they do that, then we'll send them to the hospital in Salt Lake to be taken care of. As Brett suggested, we'll just do it and take care of them, whatever their needs might be, if they qualify. But first of all, see, they have to have some disorder of bones, muscles, or joints, generally for the orthopedics.
Right.
Doctors do the work.
And then burns.
If you have a question, though, come.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it is if you have a question, don't hold out. Just come down and we'll know if they can help you.
Yeah.
And at the very least, you can buy a few tickets to the
Shrine Barbecue.
The Shrine Barbecue.
That'll be August 19th of this year.
Oh, there we go. One more plug. August 19th for the barbecue.
The third Sunday of each August, we have the Shrine Barbecue.
Thank you, too, for coming
800
today.
people come to that, you know.
Wow. And 500 of them are your friends, right?
I don't remember what the total was, but yeah, we try to help it.
Thank you so much again, you two, for coming here. I hope we have you back again. We'll talk a little bit more about this very important event and what a worthy cause you're both involved in. Thank you. And thank you for watching us right here on VTV. That's all for now. Please join us next time right here on Channel 6.